Well, make you. Well, thanks for that. Hello and welcome to our Moneycontrol Stock Market Watch, a show that, remember, gives you the insights for making the best returns for your investments in equity markets, and also make your savings and investments work for you while you are at work. Invest smartly and we'll tell you how. So about yesterday's market, it was the FNO expiry day and both Sensex as well as Nifty ended flat. Market saw pretty much equal number of advancing as well as the declining stocks. What stands out yesterday was the FMCG counters as well as Reliance, BPCL, all of them gained. So how to navigate this market? Let's get chatting with Jigar Mistry of Buoyant Capital joining us. Jigar, welcome to CNN News 18. Now my first question, markets have been volatile, mid caps had lost a lot of steam, lot of the stocks have fallen. Now, do you see there is an imminent deeper correction, and how should a retail investor navigate this market?
Good morning, Nisha. So, if you look at the small cap index since the 3rd of August 2021, the index has fallen about 7% but there are more than 500 stocks that have fallen more than 20% or so. If you dial it a little back, since March 2020, that's a little more than a year ago, the small cap index has outperformed the Sensex by about 100 percentage points. So clearly, as some part of the gains that were to be had have been attained, going forward, one needs to be cautious on what stocks they go ahead and, bet in the small cap index. The larger cap stocks are looking a lot more attractive, but there are selective small cap names that one finds interesting as well.
Right. So what are the stocks that we are looking at, which is good even at these entry levels, and in the mid caps also? Do you find any opportunity of investment?
Two themes clearly stand out to us, Nisha. One is the banking sector. We discussed that last time around as well. The COVID wave to medical emergency has not translated into financial emergency. And therefore, a lot of banks offer very deep value from a 2 or 3 year perspective as well. Our preferred picks in that space is ICICI Bank, State Bank of India, Federal Bank, Canara Bank, and HDFC Bank. In the small and mid-cap space, I think the reopening theme, both India and global, sounds a lot more interesting. Within that space, there are a few companies that we like. One clearly is Pokarna. Pokarna exports granite and quartz. That's one company which over the next 2 years will realize the full potential of its second line that has been commissioned. So that's very interesting. And the other company that we like is Sudarshan Chemical in the mid-cap space. It's the 3rd largest pigment manufacturer in the world. And, it will benefit from the expansions over the next 2 years or so.
All right. So you are giving these stock tips for patient investors who have at least horizon of over 1 year. What should be the strategy in terms of entering? Because see, markets have also been quite volatile and the valuations are not cheap, which everybody is saying. So should it be a small quantity buy on dips?
Absolutely, Nisha. So see, timing is important because a good company is not always a great investment. It's a great investment only if you get the right price for it. Therefore, there are times in this market, right? Over the last 2.5 weeks, you've seen a lot of these companies correct 20-25%. And, with what's been going around in the world, you could see some more cuts coming through. So one should not hurry in just getting fully positioned in any of these names that we discussed. It's better if we, wait for good corrections when the market really looks red. That's the time you, balance out and average out your confidence.
What about pharma stocks? They've given good returns. Now they have been trending downwards. Should one book profits in pharma? How to navigate in IT as well as defense, which is the new flavor of the season for many?
IT, it started with a lot of small or mid-cap IT names doing fabulously well. Over the last year, we have preferred First Source, we have preferred Cyient, and we have preferred eClerx in that segment. Over the last month or so, I think IT large cap had taken hold in our portfolio. We had TCS and HCL Tech in that space. Going forward, I think large cap IT names are going to see margin pressures. They are going to see attrition. And given the returns they have given, I think it's time to be a little cautious. They might not fall as much in a falling market. So if you're trying to get positioned for that, it might be helpful. But otherwise, it's not a huge upside that we see in IT. Pharma, again, see, with the COVID, even the Cadila COVID vaccine got approved. And after that, the stock has been quite range bound. I think part of that upside is already priced in a lot of these names. It's back to basics in terms of how US pricing is behaving, how volumes are behaving. And the name of the game in the next year is going to be complex generics and specialty pharma. So the one name that we like in this space is Sun Pharma. I think that's the one that one can continue to hold for longer periods.
All right. And defense, you think should be an entry point? And do you also think very quickly that people should keep some cash aside, and when the markets dip further, then value buy?
Absolutely, Nisha. So, see, over the last year, the indices are up 50-odd%. A lot of funds, including ours, are up a lot higher than that. Those kind of returns are not sustainable. So, you know, the return expectation needs to be toned down. Currently, it has not been. So, we are in for a little bit of surprise, a little bit of a cash, a little bit of defensive and large cap names might allow you to churn back into smaller and mid cap names whenever there is a correction. So that's a perfectly, you know, good strategy. Be in cash, be in large cap names, very select small cap names, and wait for a downside to get into the business that you like.
All right, wait for the right opportunity to enter the market again. Keep the powder dry. Thanks so much, Jigar Mistry, for joining us with a bunch of stock tips. With that, I'll hand it over to my colleague in CNN News 18.
Thank you, Nisha.